Okay, I'm going to be making a separate video, and this one was, I think she was a senator from Florida, and I was listening to her talk, and this is going to be a full summary of what were they making accusations against Trump, Elon Musk, that unelected, he's not, um, giving him illegal access to their database, which, if it's under the order of someone in the executive, you can't. Can you? Can you hire your own people to do a thing? Even if it's, as long as he is executing, as long as he is executing as long as he is operating under the powers of the executive branch, yes, he can. As long as he believes he's operating under as long as he thinks he's operating under the power that he has been granted, yes, he can. Elon Musk, this is what I believe. Elon Musk has not jurisdiction. He has a defensible stance for what he's doing because he's been ordered to do something by Trump. Now, there's not an exact, you were going to do this exact thing because I order you kind of thing going on with Elon Musk, but he's giving him a job to do. Like, right sizing the government. It's like he's not going to be telling him the exact way he's going to go about it, but he's given the job to him. Nobody's done it yet, but they should just full on do a decree thing. By order and decree of your... No, we're not even going to go president. We're going to go full on Lark here. By order and decree of your king, you are ordered to stand down and submit all records to me. Speaking from Elon Musk's perspective, he should just go on and fully do that. Because the hysterics on display at this point make it so that that approach isn't that... Not hyperbolic, but though I think that's the word. That is a similar word to what I'm trying to get at. Them all having this overblown response is hyperbolic and exaggerated in and of itself. So if he wanted to go, he already went to Twitter HQ and let this sink in. Or let this sink in. He should do the same thing here. Put on the full-on medieval regalia, cape, not crown, because you're not the king, cape, like, standard bearer on a horse, whole bit. Do it all. Because they're already fucking around with not stupid shit. Bad way to summarize it. They are already fucking around and putting on a circus. Play your role.
Well, I thank the witnesses for the questions. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes Ms. Stansberry from New Mexico.
Ms. Stansberry from New
Mr.
Mexico.
Chairman, Ranking Member, Governor, welcome.
This is probably very rude and disrespectful, but I want to summarize what she's... No, I want to summarize the statement that she's putting out. No judgment on her as a person. Don't know her. But what she's about to say can be summarized as... Keep that in mind.
Our witnesses, thank you for being here today. I've really appreciated your commentary. It's been real, it's been substantive, and I support much of the efficiency work that's being done at the states. But I have to say, once again, welcome to the latest episode of the GOP Oversight Committee, where my colleagues at the beginning of this hearing once again voted to block a good government motion to carry out our most basic constitutional duty. They voted...
Now, see, and this is the thing. That's also why I was objecting to it. It's like, we should be able to bring him in front of us. Like, what if he's doing the job that the head of the executive branch put him on, why would he show up? He's got shit to do. Even if it's shit you don't agree with. It's wholly illegal shit, which, I don't believe, but I don't know everything. I don't know everything about law. There might be some shit here that I don't understand. Fully possible. But it sounds more like you just don't like the guy. It's like, why isn't he coming before us when we say so? He's got shit to do. Billy Bob Thornton. He's got real I think it's funny. He's got real man shit to do. Stupid jokes. I gotta let her get through this field so this can actually be on video. Because I'm confused that this is their objection because he doesn't have the authority to do it. He's been given the authority by the executive branch, the head of the executive branch, in fact. So, you may not like it, but accept it.
Against a motion this morning, just a few moments ago, to bring Elon Musk in front of this committee to discuss what he is doing to supposedly right-size the government, as they are claiming in this hearing. And I have to say to my colleagues, with all due respect, why are you shielding Elon Musk from coming in front of this committee if that is what your intent is with this hearing and the work that you want to do?
Because it would be a waste of time. That's the long and short of it. Like, if they believe that their job is to make the government more efficient, why wouldn't you let them call this guy in front of the government who is doing a thing that is going to increase his inefficiency, make the system less accountable, less fair, all of it? Why stand in their way? Because they think you're wasting time. You're asking people that are ideologically opposite to you no, not even ideologically opposite to you. Your colleagues, your compatriots, people you work with. You're asking them. You're asking them to follow along with something that you should know for a fact that they're not going to agree with. So again, it's like their words used. With all due respect, I don't think you respect their intelligence.
Why is the GOP in the White House shielding an unelected, unvetted, unqualified private citizen and billionaire who...
And then there's that last one, the Gish Gallop. Unelected, yes. Unvetted, yes. Unqualified. That's one of those things where the proof is going to have to be in the pudding. Like, we can't wait. Because if we wait, it's all going to be lost. But let's say that he's actually able to achieve what he is aimed for, which is a reduction in the federal government and a massive reduction in their spending. What if?
is literally dismantling our agencies while we sit here and is literally breaking the law. Maybe it's because while we're sitting here, he and his team are working across town here in Washington, D.C., entering federal agencies and federal buildings, hacking their data systems, firing federal employees, intimidating them, trying to force them to leave, shutting down vital programs, closing the Department of Education, the CIA, the DOJ, and threatening our domestic and international security, and downloading the private and sensitive data of Americans at the Department of Treasury.
Okay. Let's go from the top. Most of the government programs I'm not even going to talk about because most of them are probably based off of bloat. It might be a Republican versus Democrat discussion of what programs should be cut because you all have your special interests and your pet project programs that you want to keep open. The Americans that pay taxes into the system should not care about the pet projects and the side issues of whatever politician wants to keep, of the politicians that want to keep them open. They should not care about those things. It's more likely than not, there should be a government program or there should be something permanent that is taking care of that issue instead of it just being the pet project of a politician. And for the American people to actually care about it so that it can be scrutinized and worked through and evaluated by them. Because it might not even be a program that would be beneficial to their exact area, but then it being paid through taxpayer money and them having access to the information, maybe they would see that it still benefits other Americans. So okay, I'll pay that tax. I'm okay with that as long as it's open and transparent. So I don't know. I'm already of the opinion that there's a lot of bloat in the U.S. government. So I'm not going to be a hard seller on the idea that a lot of the programs need to be cut. So I should leave that one as neutral because like I said, I'm already of the opinion that a lot of it should be cut. Department of Education, you can have it run in the state, so you're not really shutting it down. You're taking it away from the federal government. And that is also something that a lot of power that rests with the federal government really shouldn't. So in moving that back to state government, because it's going to be governance either way. So moving it back to the states would be beneficial because since you're going to be ruled over by somebody either way, better that it's somebody that's really close at hand in case they fuck up. Let's see. I can't remember anything distinctly, and I'm gonna have to listen back to it because it really sounds like whining. Like they're breaking all of our stuff. Were you using that stuff for bad ends? That's besides the point. They're breaking our stuff. It wasn't your stuff to begin with, and you weren't using it responsibly. That's pretty much what it is. It's like when your parents come home and you've been, not using your toys in a way that's respectful of either them buying you the toys or you like getting the toy yourself and keeping it maintained, and they just take away your toys. I can't shake. That's. No, it sounds like it is a very immature way of looking at it. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm the wrong person to be evaluating whether or not the government should be downsized because I'm already of the opinion that it's a large percentage of the federal government, at the very least, is rotten. State, federal government, yes. So, can't really speak on that one. So, as far as an oversight committee, so someone whose specified goal, DOGE, is Department of Government Efficiency. What do they call that? Preaching to the choir. So, yeah, I'm the wrong person to talk about that one. And that's probably also why it just sounds all like whining, so I'll let her get through what she's going to get through.
What the hell is going on? How can you sit here and defend this? They are literally breaking the law, the Constitution, appropriations law, federal labor laws, and dozens of statutory laws that Congress has passed. And meanwhile, my friends across the aisle are sitting here today saying that we're hyperventilating, that we're just clutching our pearls. Are you serious? Are you that out of touch with the American people? I mean...
Democrats, of all people, should not say that. At the very least for 2 years. 4 years if you're being respectful of people's intelligence, but 2 years at the very least. Let me run you through another scenario. This is like you getting caught in bed cheating, and then you're trying to judge the other person for then going out and like, they didn't even pick someone. They just put a cavalcade of other women in front of you like, I could have done this. That's not a good scenario because it's not equivocal, but it kind of goes towards the point where you were caught in something bad, and because they did something equally stupid, you'd be like, they shouldn't be doing that stupid thing. But who was in government for the last 4 years? You can't say that none of the situations of how it's gone wrong in the United States aren't Democrats' fault. So you can't be a Democrat and then say you're out of touch with the American people. As a class, politicians are out of touch right now. It's not Democrat, it's not Republican. As a class, they're out of touch.
federal government. Just let them eat cake? Is that your message to the American people? Because last week, while you were at Trump's private resort in Florida and partying it up after the inauguration, telling the media that funding freezes wouldn't hurt real Americans, well, millions of real Americans were sent into total chaos, and our states had to go to the courts to shut down your federal funding freeze. While Trump was golfing, the Medicaid systems were shut down and locked out. Hospitals and clinics were wondering if they were going to be able to keep their...
Oh, is it going to be a commercial? Yeah, it's going to be a commercial.
This one habit makes
Head Starts, preschools, and children's programs were wondering if they were going to be able to make payroll the next day or by the end of the week. And while Elon Musk and a group of teenage software engineers were hacking your personal data at the Treasury Department, shutting down DOJ, the CIA, USAID, and ending diversity initiatives in the military, saying that the United States military could not honor Dr. Martin Luther King, our proud military personnel and veterans who put their lives on the line every day for this country were wondering if they were going to get their paychecks and veterans benefits. So, colleagues, we are not clutching our pearls.
I can prove that you are, because none of those things that you said were problems that were part of the disruption that happened as he was coming into his presidency would be things that you can lay on him, because they're matters of efficiency for the previous administration. They're an example of the Democratic Party being out of touch, because if they would have been on their job, the transition would have been smoother. None of those departments would have been worrying about their funding and their payments, because they would have already been locked in and paid for. All of that paperwork would have already been set in motion. All of that bureaucracy would have already been moving, because that's the issue. The deep state is just the bureaucracy. They're the unelected officials. They're the people pushing paper. There's a massive amount of inefficiency and corruption in that system. So all the things that you're talking about are things that are exploding, are proving his point. That him pulling apart any of these departments, they should not be They should not be falling apart in this matter if they were structured in the way that you say that they were. That they were efficient and fair organizations that were operating as they should. They should not be falling apart because this part was pulled. There's something wrong with the structure of it that they're falling apart in this way. You're demonstrating the thing that he's talking about. So yes, you are clutching at pearls. You're putting on the show, you're putting on a performance. You're not being honest.
Or hyperventilating. We are defending the millions of Americans who are under attack, the federal employees, the mothers, the fathers, the grandfathers, being put out on leave, advocating for the people of color, the women, the members of our LGBTQ+, and yes, our trans community, who are under fire right now, under the guise of canceling DEI programs, under the guise of...
And that's also the thing, because you mention, not intrinsic, you mention things that are a matter of choice, which would be cut out for any DEI checklists or any of the diversity programs, because it's always been, I keep using slogans and I need to find different ways of saying this, concept of character, not color of skin. There's a reason that he said that. Even if you think it's a disrespectful association, can you at least acknowledge his intent in saying it? His intent was not to disrespect you. If he wanted to do that, he could just go around slapping people in the face. He's saying things, he's doing things. There is an intent behind that. And I believe that part of that intent is showing, well, part of it is, no, I don't know if he's intended where part of what's coming out is you showing the exact thing that he's talking about. I don't know if it's a matter of just pulling, I keep saying linchpin, but that's more my thinking, pulling out a particular part of the whole apparatus and then watching it crumble. I don't know if that's his point or if that's something that he's intending. But that is something that's happening, and it speaks to intent. That these things were constructed in this way, that all you need to do is, you just need to do a. So far, all you said that Elon Musk is gathering information. You're saying that he's shutting down departments, but the people that are inside there, even though they don't have access to the records right now, they still have their memories. They still have their procedural operations that they've learned. They still would be able to report on the things that they've done before and illustrate a difference in the circumstance, instead of it being shown that it's inefficient and it falls apart at the simple like harsh breath and harsh words thrown at it, as compared to it being a fairly executed and well-maintained governmental system. It's kind of feel losing where that idea is kind of falling apart. But I think I've already said the things that are pieces of what I'm thinking about. So yeah, you're still showing that you're not being hyperbolic. You're still showing that you're being not facetious, like lying, but that you're not obfuscating. That you're still using intrinsic characteristics as a shield for what you're actually doing. Because you could defend minorities, you could defend women, you could defend the marginalized, and still be fucking up. You could still be doing it in a way that in the end doesn't actually help any of those three groups. You'd be like the giving them a fish instead of teaching them a fish kind of thing. Like you can be getting them to rely on a crutch instead of being able to heal and walk on their own kind of thing. At least that's the way I'm thinking about it. I don't know if that's illustrated in their actions. At least that's what I'm seeing. Is more of the, you say you're helping, but the people that you're helping aren't really getting healthier because of your help. You've given them aid, but you're not making them healthier.
So-called undoing social engineering after years of progress in this country. We are defending the proud federal service members who defend our national security, who serve our communities, and keep our economy running. Because I want to tell you something. The American people are terrified, and if you are that out of touch with your people, then you should talk to your constituents. We had a town hall 2 days ago, and 12,000 New Mexicans got on our call because the people are terrified in this country, and that is why we are fighting back. That is why we are trying to bring Elon Musk to this committee, and that is why we are fighting against this agenda.
What if it was 12,000 calls of stop speaking in our name, you don't know us? It could have been 12,000 people saying keep my name out your mouth.
And with that, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields. The chair.
Yeah, somebody get her a tissue. I wouldn't get the feeling that I was actually looking at a situation because I think I'm right. So, yeah, I think what's the word? I think I am being fair, but I'm just gonna leave it there. All that dead air, I might cut that out. I probably won't. 24 minutes.